Welcome to the continuation series on AWS Cloud Development Kit. In this series, we are going to see how we can deploy our static website automatically using AWS CDK framework. If you are directly jumping to this video, then I will highly recommend to go to my 3 more previous videos. In one video, I talk about how you can set up your AWS account and how you can configure your AWS profile. In another video, I talk about how you can install the CDK framework. And in the last video, I talk about how you can deploy your static website using AWS Management Console. Now you will be wondering that when everything we can do using AWS Management Console, then why we need to go with this CDK framework? The answer is pretty simple. If you if you have directly coming from that video and you're watching this video, then you have seen that for performing a basic static website, we need to kind of do two things. One is we need to create this S3 bucket. We need to apply the policy so that the bucket will be publicly accessible. And second thing is we need to upload our code. Now, whenever you are going to make any modification to your existing code, you want to deploy that code automatically. Now, uploading a code to S3 is kind of one of the manual steps. And let's say you have 100 or let's say 10,000 customer which want to kind of do the same kind of thing. So doing that thing for 110,000 will be pretty difficult, because every time you need to spend 5 to 10 minutes for uploading as well as kind of for making your SD configuration. And if you're doing a single mistake for let's say one customer, then you need to again kind of spend a lot of time to identify what was the issue. So to automate entire that thing, what we can do is we just write a simple CDK code and it can kind of do automatically. Then we can also integrate that kind of CDK code into any CI/CD tool pipeline. And whenever we are going to make any modification to our code, it can be automatically upload to S3, and it can also update our S3 website. Now for this video, I am mostly focusing on TypeScript and JavaScript. But if you want to learn how we can do the same thing using C#, Golang as well as Python, then I will share the description in the link. These are also my videos, and on those videos I can also tell you that instead of kind of a TypeScript or JavaScript, you can use any other programming languages which is supported by CDK framework, and you can kind of or upload your static website content. So enough talk, let's get started. So before jumping into the coding part, let me first reiterate that two things which is must required for this project. First is we require this AWS account and we need to configure the AWS profile. And second thing is we should install Node.js along with CDK framework. When both the things are done, and if you are directly jumping to this video, then I will highly recommend to go through two videos which include that how we can set up this AWS account and as well as configure this CDK framework. So once you're ready with basic setup, then what we can do is we can start kind of a coding part. So in this series, I'm going to use the WebStorm tool. I'm very comfortable with the WebStorm tool. It's one of the great tool from JetBrains team. This video is not sponsored by JetBrains, so I'm not going to more details about this tool's features. But you are free to choose any tool which you are comfortable with. You can use Visual Studio Code, you can use Sublime Text, you can use Node++, any tool which you want. One of the advantage of WebStorm tool is we are getting kind of an inbuilt terminal here. So I am going to do one quick thing is I'm just going to create one folder here. The name of folder will be static website. I will quickly navigate to the folder. Navigating to the folder is very easy. I just need to kind of drag the folder name and kind of put it into a terminal. Now it will show me the exact path. You can open your own terminal and you can navigate to the specific folder location. Then you need to run the command cdk initialize app, and the language will be TypeScript. So this command will help us to kind of initialize the basic setup. This is going to take few seconds to initialize the entire thing. So once this is setup is initialized, then we'll continue our video. The CDK app process has been completed, and at the end of kind of a CDK initialize app command, we are going to get couple of folders. If you are going to expand this static website, we'll see there are folder has been created. One is bin folder, another is live folder. So bin represent kind of a starting point where the CDK is going to kind of going to generate this template, and this template is going to be used by AWS CloudFormation to create these resources. We are going to go in more details about how the process is going to be happen. But the starting point of this CDK framework will be a bin file, and in the bin file it has created one static website, and it has created one lib folder, and in the lib folder it has a static website stack. So if you can open this cdk.json file, here we can see that it is running one command, and the command is kind of using this bin folder static website.ts file. Now as a starting file it is going to create this app, and then it is going to create one stack. Now consider stack is just nothing but a blueprint which will be used by AWS, and we are going to pass the blueprint to AWS, and AWS will understand this blueprint and is going to generate this AWS resources. So stack has been created. Now if you can open this static website stack, which we are going to focus mostly on, it has nothing. It's just kind of a basic plain initialization, and one of the example which it has given is if you want to create one SQS, which we are going to see in a very later part of video, that how we can create this SQS SNS, how we can kind of set up the entire pipeline. But for this video we are mostly focusing on static website. So what I'm going to do is, here is the way that AWS SDK is initialized by this CDK app initialize command. It has using this older way of kind of a libraries. These libraries will still work, but the latest version has provided a library in different way. So in that case, we need to use this AWS core. Now we need to add this library. For adding this library, what we need to do is we need to go to the specific folder. We need to run this command yarn add and the name of library. Similarly, we can go to static website. Here we are going to change it again. AWS CDK. Now, one of the advantage of using this WebStorm tool is it's just giving the information about the warning. So one of the warning is it is not able to find out this module because the module is just downloaded, and now we are able to find out this module. And second thing is, here the latest version does not support this construct thing. So instead of construct, what we need to do is we need to put app, and this app information will come from the core library. So let me try to add app here. Okay, we don't require this construct, we don't require this SQS, and we don't require this kind of code snippet. If you're coming here, no warnings in there. Now if you're targeting to any different region, then you can uncomment this line, and if you can put the specific region information. But for now I'm going with the default region, which is US East 1. Now for the static website we need to include couple of libraries. So I'm going to add these libraries one by one. So here I've added two libraries. One is AWS S3 and one is AWS S3 deployment. So this S3 will be used for configuring entire S3, and the second library S3 deployment will kind of use for uploading our artifact to S3. So we need to write our code here. So first thing, we are going to create the S3 file. Okay, create S3 bucket, and the step 2 will be kind of upload our code. Upload the code. For creating S3 bucket, the code which I'm going to write is first bucket, and here I'm going to say new S3 dot bucket, need to pass the current instance, and then we need to pass the CloudFormation stack name. So here I'm going to put CDK simply serverless Typescript, and then we need to pass the props. In the props we need to pass the bucket name. The bucket name will be CDK simply serverless Typescript. Then we need we need to mention that this bucket should have public access. For that we can put public read access true. And then we need to pass one more thing, is what will be the starting point for this bucket. And I'm going to pass website index document, and it will be index.html. And if you are working on any single page application like React or Angular, then what you can do is you can also mention the website error document page, and it will be same index.html. Only this few lines of code is going to do a lot of things. It is going to create the S3 bucket. It is also going to make the S3 bucket publicly accessible, and it is also going to set up the static website. So once this is done, the next step is to work on the upload part. For uploading of the code, what we can do is we just need to write s3 deploy dot bucket deployment, and here we need to pass this, which is the current instance. Then we need to part the bucket deploy. It will be kind of a logical CloudFormation stack name. And then we need to pass the source from where we need to kind of do the upload part. The source will be s3 deploy dot source dot asset, and here we can pass a relative path. So here I'm going to pass a dist folder, and here I'm going to create one dist folder. You can choose the dist and build, and whatever path you are going to put, let's say here my folder is a dist folder. You can also put here build folder, and make sure that whatever folder you are going to select, it should have the same name. Now here I'm going to create one simple index.html file, and I'm going to say hello simply serverless ts. If I'm going to open this file, it is going to show hello simply serverless ts. So this is done. And the second thing which we need to put is the destination bucket, and here we need to put the name of bucket. So that's it we need to do. Now everything seems to be looks good. Once you are comfortable that okay, everything is looks good, then you can run one command, which is cdk synth. And what this synth does is it just understand your entire javascript code, and it will convert into a CloudFormation code. It's going to generate one cdk.out. The cdk out will be static website template, and this is nothing but a CloudFormation generated code has been generated. So what exactly this CloudFormation is? So AWS has one service which is known as CloudFormation. What this service does is it will help us to create any AWS resources which we want. It can include the IAM role we want. It can create bucket. It can create CloudFront. It can create VPC. Every resources which we can see on AWS, it can be automatically created using CloudFormation. So it's a free services we can use a number of time. The CloudFormation only understand JSON as well as YAML file. So the code which we have written so far in our Typescript file, when you are running this synth command cdk.send, it will convert this entire JavaScript code, and it is going to convert into a JSON format. Now when you are going to run another command, which is cdk deploy, it is going to pass this template to our AWS account, and we'll see that how the CloudFormation is going to create all the resources. But prior to that, one of the important thing which I need to put is I just need to mention here that which AWS profile they should select. Otherwise they will go with the default profile, and I don't want to use my default profile. So for mentioning which profile we need to use for this deployment, we can use AWS profile serverless, and then we can run cdk build command. But if you are doing cdk first time, then before the build command you also need to run one more command, which is cdk bootstrap. Now the cdk bootstrap will responsible for basic initializations for that particular region, and it is going to kind of upload couple of softwares which is required for entire CloudFormation. So once the bootstrap is successful, second thing we need to run is this cdk build command, sorry, cdk deploy command. Now it is going to ask, do you want to deploy changes? Yes. Now side by side, let me try to open this CDK cloud formation. Now it has created this static website stack. The stack name which we have mentioned here. This is the name of cloud formation stack. It has created the stack, and now it has started kind of working on creating all the resources which we want. So it's going to take some time. So once the stack has been completed, then we can come here again and we can see what are the resources it has been created. And here we can also see that what are the resources it has creating. So it is creating this S3 bucket, it is creating this cloud formation stack. On AWS portal, we can see that okay, it has created this bucket CLI. Bucket is getting created. We can click on this resource and we can see that this S3 bucket has been created. The content has not been updated. The property of the bucket is it is publicly accessible. If you can go to properties here, if you can go to at the bottom, we can see that the static website has been enabled. We can edit static website and we can see that the index page as well as the error page is representing the index.html, which we have mentioned here. The CloudFormation stack has been completed. If we navigate to our AWS management console, we can see that the index.html page has been uploaded. We can navigate to the specific website. We can go to properties. We can scroll at the bottom and we can click on this link. It can show us hello simply serverless TypeScript. We can again go back to our CloudFormation stack. Let me go to CloudFormation. And in the CloudFormation stack, we can go to template. We can click on view in designer. Here we need to go a bit deep. Here we can expand it. Let me minimize this one. Here we can see that one CDK bucket has been created. There is a one more kind of a lambda layer which has been created, which will help us to deploy our code. And there are few more IAM policies and other thing has been created. So this is the entire stack which has been created. The template for the stack is the same template which we have uploaded using CDK framework. So this is the template which is in YAML file format. We can also see this in JSON format. So this is template we can see in JSON format. So that's it for this video. Please let me know in your comments if you need more information, if something has been missed out, and also please share your feedback and also click on subscribe button so that I can create more this kind of videos. Thank you.